Welcome everyone to the last session of day 2 of Meditab's virtual UGM. I hope everyone is having a good time and finding our sessions informative. Please take advantage of our feedback options to recommend how we can make the event better for you. My name is Teresa Rump and I will be the moderator for this session. Just want to remind everyone that you're in listen only mode. We had to do that to keep down the background noise. However, there is a question box on the right-hand panel of your GoToWebinar. Please use that freely. We will try to address your questions in session. If time runs out and we can't, we will address them separately by email later on. This is a live event, meaning anything can happen. Technical issues might arise. If we are cut off, just sit tight and we will work to restore connection quickly. Our UGM sessions are being recorded and we will make them available to everyone at a later date. Without further delay, I would like to introduce Zach. He is presenting today on what's new with IMS Dental. Floor is yours, Zach. Zach, you're muted.
Thank you, Teresa. Hey, everyone. I'm Zach, and today I'm going to be presenting you some new features that we have added to our dental module in IMS. And as you know, in the last couple of years, the dental module in IMS has grown leaps and bounds. And that's because of all the feedback, all the suggestions that we have got from you guys. And I'll take this opportunity to present to you some few additional features, some good features that we have been able to add to our dental charting module in the last few months. Okay, and these features that we are going to be seeing today is already available in the latest version of IMS, that is IMS build 21. So stay tuned and let's see what we have in store. So there are 3 things that we're going to be discussing about. We're going to see what we have introduced, what are the new changes that we have introduced in the procedure charting, procedures and conditions charting in IMS. Okay. We've also added a good feature to our period charting module, which we got requests from, which we got as suggestions from our customers. And the last thing we're going to discuss about is the treatment estimation feature that we have added to the latest version of IMS. So the most recent addition to the dental procedure charting module, that is the dual charting mode. In the previous versions of IMS, the dental charting mode was, what you could do was select the tooth and apply the procedures. Okay, for tooth specific procedures, for procedures that were surface specific as well. What you would do was select the tooth first and then apply the procedures. But with the latest version of IMS, what you can also do is select the procedure and apply it to every tooth that you're going to perform that procedure on. So that's the latest addition to our procedure charting, which basically enables dual charting. Okay. So just to give you a glimpse of it, what you could do is select the procedure first, and then you can see that you can keep on applying the procedures. Okay. So that is the second mode that we have introduced in our latest version. The next one is applying procedures to a tooth range. So some procedures you would be not applying to a single tooth, you could be applying it to a range of tooth, right? In that case, if you do not want to report those procedures on each tooth as a separate line item on your claim, in fact, you want to send a single line item on your claim for that single procedure, but on multiple tooth or a range of tooth, what you could do is you could enable the tooth range billing option in the latest version. And what IMS will do is If you apply that single one procedure on multiple tooth, the system will just add a single line item entry on your treatment plan, and it's going to display the tooth in ranges. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. You select multiple tooth, and then you select the procedure. You can see that 8, 9, and 10, there's a single line entry that has been added. So that's what we have added to the recent version. Instead of adding 3 line items for each of those 3 tooth that you select and apply procedures on, there will be a single line item entry on your treatment plan. Okay, and that's going to go as a single line item on your claims, but every single tooth will be reported on that single line item. Now, how to set up the system to apply that procedure on a tooth range rather than adding multiple line items for every single tooth. So that is a very easy setup. Okay, you can go to the procedure setup screen, and on the right panel of the procedure setup screen, what we have is the dental detail options. Now, when you click on the dental detail options, it's going to bring up this window, which is called the dental details window. Okay, in there we have this checkbox which says tooth range. Now this is what defines, this is what tells the system that when you are applying that procedure on a group of tooth, okay, on a range of tooth, just like a single line item. Okay. The next one is an interesting feature. Now, procedures like extraction, for example, okay, when you when you treatment plan a procedure, which is an extraction procedure, let's say over a period of time that procedure gets performed and you extract the tooth. So when you do that, that tooth gets marked as missing. That tooth is supposed to get marked as missing. And what we have done is an automation on that side as well. So in the latest version, you can define some procedures to automatically mark the tooth as missing at a specific status. So for example, if we talk about extraction, if that procedure is performed and it is marked as completed, the system can now automatically mark that tooth as missing and also keep the indicators on the screen. Now, it is not specific to extraction. If you have procedures like partial dentures, where you are performing that procedure because that tooth is missing in the first place, you can also set it to mark the tooth as missing as soon as you apply it rather than performing it. As soon as you treatment plan that procedure, the system will automatically mark the tooth as missing. So that saves you those extra steps of selecting that tooth and marking that tooth as missing. Okay, so you could do this you can define it on what status that tooth should be marked as missing. Okay, so for extraction, you would basically do it when the procedure is completed or marked as already done. While for partial dentures, what you could do is set it to when you do the treatment planning, the system will automatically mark that tooth as missing when you do the treatment planning itself. Okay, so that is the other feature that we have introduced on the procedure charting. So let's have a look. So you can see that the tooth automatically disappears when the procedure gets marked as completed and the indicator still remains on that tooth. Okay. The next feature is a very time-saving feature, and it's a very important feature of the procedure charting, is that based on your configurations in the system will automatically switch the procedure codes between a single surface code or a 2 surface code, 3 surface code, or 4 or more surface codes. So most of the surface procedures, almost all the surface procedures, the codes, the billing codes, they change with the number of surfaces on which they are applied, right? Now with this new feature, what the system can perform is automatically switch the procedure codes depending on the number of surfaces that you select on any given tooth. Okay, so if you look at it, selecting different number of procedures basically changes the procedure code. And that is how, with a single option or a single button on your screen, you can basically change the procedure codes by just selecting the number of surfaces, or selecting the right number of surfaces will switch your procedure selection to the right procedure based on that surface selection. Okay. Yep. Now, a very important feature that we have introduced to our period charting, a very time-saving feature, in fact, is if you have already performed period charting for your patients, and it's time for the next period charting for the patient, what you can do is you can pull up the list of visits where you have already performed some period charting, and you can copy over the information to your most recent period chart. Okay, you can copy over any of the information that you have on your previous period chart, and you can decide which values you want to be copied over. Now here, what you can see is we also have an option that basically gives you the ability to override the values that you have already on your current period chart, or if you want to keep the current values on your current period chart and just copy over the missing information, that can also be done. The next is the X-ray interface. In the latest build 21 of IMS, what we also have is an integration with DTX Studio from KOCR. So DTX Studio is an X-ray imaging software from KO, and we have an integration with this product from KO. And the integration basically lets you launch DTX Studio right from IMS. And the most important part is it just not launches DTX Studio. If you are on a specific patient's dental chart, and if you launch DTX Studio, the system will automatically select that patient. Okay. And in case the patient is not already in DTX Studio, the system can also create and put that patient on DTX Studio. So let's have a look at that feature. So what we have here is this option on the dental chart itself. We have this option, it says show DTX, which will launch this patient on DTX Studio. So when you click on that, the system will send the message to DTX Studio that you need to retrieve the DTX Studio data or the X-ray images of that patient. And as you can see here, this patient here, which I have, is test Janet, and you can see that test Janet is already selected, and the DTX Studio launches on the same screen. Okay, so the system can not just only launch DTX Studio, it can select the right patient, and if that patient doesn't exist in DTX Studio, the system can also create that patient in DTX Studio. Okay, with the same chart numbers. As you can see, we also sync the chart numbers from IMS into DTX Studio. And it's also important to note, DTX Studio from KOCR is not the only software that we're integrated with. This is the most recent addition to our integration. It's also important to know that we have integration with another dental imaging software, that is TigerView. But that has been an option in IMS from a very long time. So we will not be having a demonstration of that today, but it's important for you to know that we have integration with these two X-ray imaging softwares, which is TigerView and the other one is DTX Studio. The next one is treatment estimations. Now, treatment estimation is another important feature of our dental procedure charting screen. Now, this treatment estimations module lets you estimate the total amount that a patient has to pay for any procedures that is treatment planned. Okay, so the treatment estimation module, it starts with setting up your insurance coverage templates. Now that is nothing but a way of defining, let me show you in IMS itself. Under setup menu dental, you have dental coverage templates. Now this is where you will be defining your coverages by your insurances. So dental coverage template is nothing but setting up the system with the approximate percentage of the total charge that will be covered by your insurance, by the patient's insurance. Now that is what will be used by the system to understand how much the patient would be responsible for. So once you're done with the insurance coverage template setup, all that you have to do is basically on the dental chart, we have the treatment estimations option right here on the dental chart itself. You click on it and it's gonna bring up the dental treatment case window. Let's just add a couple of procedures here first. So as you can see here, these procedures that are treatment plan will show up on your screen. Now, since we do not have any coverage templates here, the system will not be able to calculate the total patient responsibility. However, once you have the coverage template set up, the system will automatically calculate how much the patient owes based on the patient's insurance, based on the patient's remaining deductibles, and you can print this out and hand it over to the patient as an estimation of the total cost that the patient would have to pay out of pocket. Okay, so this is how our treatment estimation window looks like. Okay, you have to select a coverage template. All your procedures will be listed here. You can also create alternate treatment options to keep their cost separate from the main treatment, so that you could give them both the options, the total cost of the the original treatment plan and the total cost of the alternate treatment plan. So the system can also help you give them both the estimations, and you can print them out and have a copy of that in IMS as well. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the recent features that we have added to our dental charting module. And let's go over the question and answers. So if you have any questions, please post them on the questions tab of the GoToWebinar application. And currently we're going to go over each one of them. Okay.
Okay, Zach. Jessica is asking, with the module, is there a dental template that is specific to dental specialty, or do we have to build one?
Well, you don't have to build one. Well, our team, our EMR team already has dental specific question templates built. So all you have to do is just reach out to us and our team will give you a demonstration of the templates that we already have. And you can provide your suggestions or changes that you want to the templates. And once that is completed, they can load it on your IMS itself. So you don't have to build it. We have already built it for several customers of ours, and you can just reuse those templates.
Great. Zach, both Jessica and Jamie are asking if we have integration with Dexis, DEXIS.
That's a great question. So we're basically looking for integration with Dexis, and that's when we had some discussions, meetings with the Dexis guys, and that's when we got to know that DTX Studio is basically their future application, the application of the next generation application. So this is from the same guys. We have been working with them, and if you are using Dexis and if you are already on their maintenance plan, which basically gives you updates of Dexis application, you will be able to switch to DTX Studio for free because you've already had the license for Dexis. So DTX Studio is basic from the same company, from the same parent group, and this is basically the alternative to DEXIS from the same company.
All right. Are there any other questions? We have a little extra time. Maria is asking, do you know when that will take place with DEXIS?
Um, the integration with DEXIS is not going to happen because we just integrated with the next generation application. So they don't have do any new integrations as such. DTX Studio is basically the next update of or the upgraded version of DEXIS. So all features that you have in DEXIS is going to be in DTX Studio.
Okay. James is asking, regarding X-ray interfaces, are the images stored locally or remotely on the main IMS server if you have multiple clinics?
Yeah, so DTX Studio Clinic is the desktop application. However, there's a server, they have another application that is called the DTX Core. Now that is your server application. Your DTX Studio Clinic works as the local workstation application that helps you capture the images from the X-ray sensors, but all of that is synced to a central server, so that other locations, other dental practices, different locations can access the same data. So if I'm on this patient here, and if I'm capturing some X-ray images with this application, the other offices will also be able to see the same patient and all those new images that you have captured, because this images that you are capturing from DTX Studio is being synced with the central server of DTX.
All right. Any other questions? It looks like that's it, Zach. Want to go
Great.
ahead and go to the next slide. If you are interested, actually, back up. If you are interested in adopting IMS Dental or getting some additional training or customization or a consult with one of our dental experts, please contact your IMS representative. So if you're a Meditab Direct client, you can go to your account manager. If you're with one of our valued partners, please reach out to them and we'll get you the help you need. Next slide. Okay, so I just wanted to share the leaderboard with everyone to encourage you to participate. There will be a survey immediately after this session closes down. Also, if you post to social media, you will earn points towards the prizes that will be given out on Monday. So far, Ivan is in first place, Lois is in second, Edwin third, and the fourth place is a three-way tie with Ruth, Brandy, and Joshua. However, there are 2 more days to collect those points and win those prizes. Next slide, please. So that concludes day 2 of Meditab's virtual UGM. I want to give everyone a big thank you. We have a wonderful program available tomorrow and Saturday. Please take a look at our schedule. Follow us on social media. If you utilize the hashtag UGM Virtual Summit or hashtag Meditab IMS, you will qualify for points for those prizes that will be announced on Monday. You do need to switch your profile to public during the UGM so that we can count those posts. Want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, Cover My Meds, Dr. Catalyst, Global Payments Integrated, MG Hosting, and Vonage. And that concludes our program. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.